we go. So it goes with that now. Now we're cooking with gas.
Okay, orientation is locked. Rotate device back. It says orientation is locked. Rotate the.
Orientation is locked. Rotate back.
Should be this way?
Oh, is it do we have it backwards? Oh.
Oh shit, it's already live. Awesome.
Yeah, you're live. Just,
Honestly. We'll change this first of all.
No, that's gonna point it away.
away.
From us.
Yeah,
But
now
we're
we're
pointing towards you.
Okay. There we go. It says orientation is locked. So do we want to be vertical on this?
You're gonna have to.
No.
Looks like it.
It's like
You want to hear this?
Yeah.
You want to stop the live?
no. Let's go.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Just
Either
turn it
way,
down.
it'll just be
Well, we already got a couple people on here. How's it going, everyone?
They'll see us go.
They're trying to figure out how to do this. It's like, why
Sorry,
not?
we got a little technical difficulty here. Sorry, I apologize for that. And we are going live now on Facebook and Instagram. How's everyone doing today? Hope you had a great weekend here at My Shape Lipo. All right, so how's everyone doing? See if we can get a couple people on here. Okay. So, hope everybody had a great weekend. It's beautiful here in sunny Las Vegas. It's been actually very, very nice weather, very cool for us. It's been in the 80s, which is amazing. So we're enjoying that time here. If you guys have been here before, you know how this works. Any questions that you might have on liposuction, I'll be answering them today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Trevor Schmidt. I'm the liposuction specialist at My Shape Lipo. I've done tens of thousands of these procedures. And so I've helped a lot of people achieve their goals. And I can help you as well. You know, if you have any questions or concerns, a lot of the things that you may have heard about from other people or other sources may be incorrect. So I'm here to speak the truth and tell you the way it is and help shed the light on what is possible. So, Caitlin Bennett, you wish you could afford it. Well, you got to work for all the things that you want in life. You know, nothing's for free. You know, I have employees that we have to pay. So, you know, we do have contests that we offer this stuff for free to help some people that are less fortunate. But, you know, the reality is everything has a cost. Someone's got to pay for it. And we help a lot of people. It's really a great thing. I try to keep things affordable. I know that our prices are affordable in comparison to a lot of other places around the country. So Lisa Gomez, hey, we have a low battery on this one. Lisa Gomez asks, do we do fat transfer to the buttocks? And the answer is yes. So you may have heard the commercialized term Brazilian butt lift or BBL. We call it fat transfer to the butt. So it's essentially we take fat from one area through liposuction. So we remove the fat out and then we're able to transfer it back to the butt area to enhance and give you additional volume. Give you the fat basically where you want it. Because, you know, a lot of people, you know, when we gain weight in areas where we don't want it. So this is the ability to take the fat from where you don't want it and put it where you do want it. So it's like redistribution of the wealth. But most people are going to be concerned about taking the fat from that waistline and reducing the waist size so then you can increase the volume of the butt. And to me, a lot of this is about proportions. So many people over the years, they lose the proper proportions of their body. So we just need to get you back into proper proportions. Let's see. Tiffany Arterbury, you said you've been in the contest for 3 years but never won. I am not sure what to say. I mean, there's 100,000 people that have entered the contest, and we've only had, I think, 12 winners now. So you know, we do our best. 360 lipo, phenomenal procedure. If you want to get a huge dramatic change in your life and you know, get that waistline that you've lost. You know, most people, you know, you have what you may consider your better body when you were in your younger years, when it was, you know, in your teenage to, you know, your 20s, and then after the 20s you start packing on the weight, and things change for you, and your shapes change and your proportions change. So liposuction is like, it's like hitting the reset button. Um, you know, being able to make things easier for you, and it's not like, you know, things aren't easy in your life, right? So there's always a cost, and the cost in this case is actually money. But if you know, if you want to diet and exercise, you can lose the weight for sure. You can do this. Like thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people have lost weight and gotten all the results that they're looking for without liposuction. So you can absolutely do it yourself, but there's a cost, right? Your cost is your time and your effort, your diet, your exercise. I mean, you gotta go through those processes to achieve your goal. And then even though you do all that stuff, it still doesn't guarantee anything. So you know, liposuction is a way to kind of aid in the whole process. So we're able to physically remove out the fat to make, you know, the difference. You can see the changes that we can make in people, and it happens very quickly, which is the awesome part. Now, this isn't the save all, end all, and be all of all procedures. You know, it's important still after the procedure that you continue to live a healthy lifestyle and eat, you know, proper diet and exercise. You know, for you to have the best results, for you to live your best life, for you to be everything that you want to be, it's going to take more than just me sucking your fat out of your body. If you don't change your habits, change your routines, change your eating style, your exercise routine, if you don't change some of these things, you're going to continue to have other problems in your life. This is just a band-aid unless you make the ultimate changes in your life. But the cool thing is like we can physically get the fat out of your body, and it happens like that. It's like it's so quick. The results are so quick. You know, there's obviously going to be a recovery afterwards, and that takes time, but the fat is gone immediately, and these are permanent results that we're talking about. The fat cells don't come back. Lisa Gomez asks, can you shape the hips with fat transfer? So here's the cool thing, Lisa. We can take the fat from anywhere, so which means that we can make anywhere where there is fat, we can make it smaller. And then anywhere where you want fat, we can add volume with the fat. So if you want to make the hips bigger or the butt bigger or you know, different shapes, I mean there's limitations to what we can do, but there's a lot that we can do, which is really cool. So you know, literally we can take the fat off of anywhere and make it smaller, or add fat to make it bigger. It's really just depends on whatever you're looking for. However, I'm going to offer my suggestions because I've done a lot of these procedures, and I've seen what people would consider normal. And most people want to be viewed as normal, so it's important for a person like myself to shed light on what is possible for you, what kind of results you're going to get with their expectations, and whether it's going to look normal. You want to look normal. So when you say putting fat on your hips, you know, a lot of this is semantics. So we may not be speaking the same language or referring to the same area with the same words, but ultimately it's the look that you're going for, and that's what I know, that's what I understand. So if you can just describe to me, you know, what you're looking for, we can accomplish pretty much anything. Lisa again asks, how much is the 360 lipo? So 360 lipo is where we liposuction all the way around the waistline, so the entire waistline. So from the breast all the way down to your natural fold down at the bottom of the waist, all the way around the sides, and continue all the way around to the back above the butt. So the important thing here, the key thing to the 360 lipo is completing the 360, going all the way around and getting the fat out of the lower back, which is just above the butt. And that's the key to getting the best results here. Most people don't think about it though. Most people are so focused on the front of their belly that they don't even think about the back. So what I found is that the results that make it phenomenal are definitely, you have to get the lower back. If you have any fat there, you got to get the lower back, because what it does is it creates more of an arch to your back, and it shapes the butt to give you the better shape that you're looking for, to create the arches of the butt and the tapering position to give you the it's really just it's about creating the curves. So most people lose it with age and with gravity. We tend to lose the curves, and fat goes in places where we don't want it. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I mean, diet and exercise are definitely great options, but you can't always solve your problems that way. So the cool thing about liposuction is we can remove fat from a specific area. When you diet and exercise, you lose fat proportionally through every part of the body. So you can't be like, I want to lose my belly and then go exercise and then lose just the belly. You have to do the work to lose the fat through the entire body for it to affect the fat on the belly. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people say is that despite doing all their diet, exercise, losing the weight that they want to lose, they still can't lose the fat in what they consider their problem area. Now, why they consider it their problem area is very simple. They simply have more fat cells on that area. So that might be your belly, that might be your arms, that might be your chin, that might be your thighs. But where you carry more fat cells, it's going to be more difficult for you to lose fat in that area, just because you have the sheer volume, you have more fat cells. Now with liposuction, we can physically remove those fat cells to reduce the volume in that particular area. So now what was once considered your problem area is no longer your problem area anymore. So that's the advantage of liposuction versus diet and exercise. Diet and exercise are great, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. You should absolutely focus on diet and exercise, and even if you get and when you get liposuction, you need to continue with diet and exercise afterwards. So it works in conjunction with. It's not one or the other. It's not like you should do diet and exercise or liposuction. It's you do liposuction and diet and exercise. So, you guys see any other questions?
Says, what about double chin?
Double chin, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's on Facebook.
So double chin liposuction it's so easy. Now, most people they fear, they get scared because they're thinking like, oh my gosh, it's right here, it's right near vital, in my neck, and I'm scared. I don't, he's gonna be moving around and doing that stuff. But here's the cool thing, it's over really quick. I work very fast, and so the chin is typically the easiest area for people to tolerate, and it goes very quickly. So don't be scared. If you have a double chin, I promise you, like it's probably been bugging the crap out of you your whole life, and it's so easy to get rid of it. You have no excuse. It's so easy. If you have a double chin and you're like avoiding pictures all the time and you don't want people to see you, you take your selfies from way up like this. I know all the tricks. You take the selfies from up like this so you don't see the double chin. So look, if you're that person, if you're the one that you're always hiding from pictures, that you don't want people to see you, or every time you see a picture of yourself you're embarrassed because you see your double chin. If that's you, like it's so easy to fix that problem. And there's no excuse anymore that you don't have to live like that. You don't have to say it's genetics. My mom had it, my dad had it, my sister has it, and now I have to have it. That's bullshit. You don't have to do that anymore. We don't live back in the 20s where you have to just accept stuff. Like, anything is possible. You can have whatever you want. You want to be thinner? You can be thinner. There's ways to be that. You want to have bigger boobs, you want to have bigger butt, you want to have more hourglass figure, whatever it is that you want, these things are possible. So stop telling yourself that it is the way it is for you, because that's just not the case anymore. If you want to change your life, you want to change your body, you want to have a better shape, it's all possible.
Erica asks, are arms one or two areas?
Arms are considered one area. Can you die from lipo? And if so, what are your chances of dying? You guys have morbid people. Okay, so theoretically you can die from anything. So let's just get that up straight up from there. So you can die from walking across the street, so that's possible. What are your odds and chances of dying from liposuction? I've done, we estimate over 20,000 procedures, and I have not had any deaths or any, close calls. Let's just say it like that. So you got pretty damn good odds coming to me. Now, if you research, there have been some deaths through liposuction. However, you have to look at each individual situation because there's always going to be circumstances. For example, Kanye West's mother, she passed away. Now, she was getting liposuction. However, she went to a plastic surgeon and she was put under general anesthesia, and not only did they do liposuction, but they also did a tummy tuck and breast augmentation and face, I don't know, whatever. Like, they did a bunch of stuff. She was under general anesthesia for 8 hours and ended up passing away. Now, I'm not saying that there was anything done wrong or wasn't done right or whatever the case. All I'm saying is that it's different. It's different than, it's not just liposuction. They did a lot of other things, and they did general anesthesia. The biggest concern with getting any procedures is going to be general anesthesia, so we completely eliminate that risk. So that's why this procedure is so much safer. And because it's so much safer, we're able to do the procedures in an office setting as opposed to a surgical setting. So as opposed to in the operating room in a hospital, which was a lot more expensive, it can be done in an office-based setting, which saves significantly on cost because the hospitals, many of you probably don't know, hospitals charge over $100 a minute for surgery. A minute, $100 a minute. So it gets pretty expensive. So we save you a lot of money by being able to do it in our office, but it's so much safer that way. I know people think that the hospitals are like the safe place, but if you look at the statistics, infection rates are substantially higher from the hospital. Death rates are substantially higher when in the hospital versus outpatient facilities. General anesthesia, the death rates are substantially higher. So do your research. Don't trust me.
How many sections is Lipo 360 considered?
The Lipo 360 it's going to be dependent on the individual, how many areas. Because some individuals are much larger, so we're talking about fat, taking the fat all the way around the waistline. For the smallest individual, it would be considered 5 areas. For obviously larger individuals, it could be considered a lot more. So we charge more, and it's pretty much, we're talking about surface area. So when you talk about these larger individuals, and first of all, I don't do any bullshit like you don't have to lose weight. There's no BMI. There's none of that crap. That these numbers where we're trying to figure out a way to charge you more. We're trying to keep this as fair and even as possible. So we're essentially charging per surface area. So the larger individuals, when you're like 300 pounds or so, the belly starts elongating, and so it folds over, and then with gravity pulls it down, it stretches and it gets longer and longer. And you have some people that have bellies all the way down to their knees, and I'm not saying I'm not making fun or whatever. It is what it is. And, I'm here to help. So we just need to be able to price these things appropriately and fairly. And I mean, there's no book on how to do this. And if you go to every other facility, is going to charge a little bit different. We try to make it very consistent and fair, so you guys can to understand what we're doing and why we're charging and how we're charging what we're charging. So we try to keep this as fair and even as possible. But when you're larger, if the abdomen's longer, or you're bigger, we have to charge more to accommodate for the time as well as the supplies that we need. So, hope that answers the question. Kathy LaFlores asked, how long have I been doing these procedures? Let's see. I'm gonna say I started doing this liposuction in about 2006, so that'd be about 13 years. Okay. Okay, is the front of the stomach and the love handles considered different areas? Yes, that's why we call them different areas. Again, Julie, you know, get your consultations. So we do free consultations. Any of you guys that have questions about, you know, what an area is, what areas are included in what you need specifically, you know, any of these things are what's going to be covered in your consultation. And you know, obviously I can't answer specific questions in a general forum like this. So I don't, you know, like I haven't seen you, I don't know you. You know, you could be 500 pounds, so I can't like give advice, you know, based off of a question on this. So if you do want your consultations, if you guys are ready to move forward, it's a free consultation. Many of you may be coming from out of state, so we do the consultations over the phone, which makes it a lot easier for you. You can just email us pictures, and then we answer the questions on the phone, and you know, try and give you a accurate quote without ever having to come in to see us. So the first time you need to fly out here for your procedure. So try and make it as easy as possible. About 70% of our patients fly in from out of state. So Nita asks about, what about the thighs? What about the thighs? We do thighs. We suck fat from pretty much anywhere. So you got big thighs, big arms, big chin, big belly, back fat, toe fat, whatever you got it, I'll suck it off. Okay, Regina, she says she planned to do a tummy tuck, but she wants to do lipo first. Do you recommend that? Regina, you are on the right path. That's exactly what I recommend. When, you know, a lot of individuals, when you go to a plastic surgeons, they read from one playbook, and all the playbook says is tummy tuck. So everybody that comes in, they offer them tummy tuck. So now I know that most people are scared of tummy tuck. They don't want a tummy tuck. It's a big scar. They have general anesthesia. There's lots of complications. There's lots of problems. So I'm sure that you're trying to avoid a lot of those problems. Now, many of my patients are doing exactly the same thing, and we've been very, very successful at getting great results in alleviating the entire need or necessity for a tummy tuck. So a lot of my patients that get liposuction never actually need a tummy tuck afterwards, because the skin retracts back quite nicely. And if you watch some of these pictures that are flowing through behind me, you'll see that that belly that hangs over, it retracts back quite nicely, and so you don't even need a tummy tuck. Now, let's just say that I'm wrong, and we suck all the fat out and the skin doesn't retract back enough and you still need a tummy tuck. Well, at that point, you can still go get a tummy tuck, and at that point, the fat's gone, so all they have to do is cut away the skin. So you can see up here how that fat retracts back, the skin retracts back quite nicely. This picture is amazing right here. So by all means, most people would have considered this a tummy tuck candidate, but we were able to get the fat out of there, and the skin retracts back quite nicely. So I would highly recommend getting liposuction first, and then in all likelihood, you probably won't need a tummy tuck. However, Regina, if you go to someone else that's not as aggressive as me, they're probably not gonna get enough fat out. So one of the reasons why I have the success that I have is because I'm more aggressive than many other practitioners. So I get a more fat out, which allows for the results that you see. This is not like a guarantee. You go to anybody and they do liposuction, they're gonna get these kind of results. That by no means is that accurate. These results are from experience of doing thousands and thousands of procedures and having the ability to get these kind of results. I mean, just go look at other people's sites. They simply don't get results like this. I mean, I don't have to argue anybody. They just don't get it. Raquel, you're wearing bigger clothes, so your rolls are not seen. You know, a lot of women that's why body shapers are so popular now. Women are wearing those body shapers underneath their clothes, and it makes you look a little bit tighter. So, but you know, do what you got to do until you can get in here, you know. Let's see. You guys see any questions? He said, please open an office in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Laura.
How many areas can you get done at one time?
How many areas can we get done at one time? standard answer is 6 areas would be the maximum. However, it's going to be different for each individual. Larger individuals, we tend to do more with larger individuals. So sometimes we're not able to do as many areas with them. So the limitations are the recommendations are to take out no more than 5 liters of fat during one sitting, and then but more the limitation is the amount of numbing fluid that we can use. So the numbing fluid is a lidocaine, and it becomes toxic once you use a certain amount of it. So it's really, we have to try to estimate the amount of lidocaine that we're going to use, and it's basically how much we can use is dependent on your weight. So we calculate how much we're able to use and try and estimate how much we're going to use. It's a guesstimate, to be honest with you. We're guessing how much we're going to be able to use so we don't overdo it. Now, if we try and cut it too close, you're taking the risk of using too much fluids, which could become toxic, and you could have more side effects and more problems. There's more risk involved. So typically, I don't like to stretch the limits, but again, a lot of that is a judgment call. And again, I haven't had any problems with patients, no deaths or anything of those issues. So whatever we're doing has worked exceedingly well. So I'll probably stick to doing what I'm doing. And
Will liposuction remove my cellulite?
will liposuction remove cellulite? Now, liposuction is not. I would never sell this as, get your cellulite taken away with liposuction. That's not what liposuction is for. Liposuction is for the removal of fat. Now, cellulite, if you got to understand what cellulite is and why you get cellulite. Cellulite is not an issue with the fat. Cellulite is an issue with the connective tissue. So if you can imagine, you have your skin up top here, and you got all these fibers that are pulling down on the skin. When they pull down on the skin, when you're young, they have a uniform. They pull down uniform, and everything is nice and smooth up here. But as you age, these fibers, they lose their elasticity. So if you ever seen like your shorts, and you hadn't worn them for a long time, and all of a sudden you pull the elastic and the elastic breaks. Well, it's because it deteriorates over time. Well, our elastin, our connective tissue, the tissue that's the fibrous tissue that's holding the skin, over time it deteriorates. And sometimes those fibers break all together, or sometimes they get too tight and they're pulling more than others. So if you can imagine, if one is pulling down harder than the other, that's when you get those indentations. So that's what cellulite is. And that's the reason why small individuals that are like 100 pounds can still have cellulite, and then large individuals that are 300 pounds have no cellulite. So there's no rhyme or reason to this as to why. It's not a matter of how much fat you have. Now, as you get more fat, it makes it more obvious when you have the issue with cellulite. Larger individuals have huge indentations because of faulty connective tissue. Now, the question, can liposuction improve cellulite? Short answer is yes, it can. The process in doing liposuction, you actually go in and you're going to break up some of that connective tissue that was causing indentations. So you can break up some of that connective tissue, and it'll leave it nice and smooth. Now, I would never promise anybody for sure that I'm going to be able to improve their cellulite, because the truth is I just don't know. You don't know beforehand how well it's going to come out. I would have a better idea after the procedure, and I could be able to tell you, I think everything came out great and we should get smoother results. But because there's so many variables, just before doing the procedure, I can't promise you that the cellulite is going to get better. But some of the results that I've had for cellulite are amazing. I mean, like it's unbelievable. They really, showing pictures of them just doesn't do it justice. But the ability to make the skin smooth is what I've found. The technique is really just, if you can make the contact of fat even and smooth, that's usually where the people have the problems. When they have that connective tissue causes the connection to the skin, but then the fat itself has to be smooth and even. And then as you heal, your body will form scar tissue, which adheres everything together, and it tends to get smoother results. Now, I think that if you're a person that has a lot of cellulite, um, the first option I would try would be liposuction if you have fat that you want to remove. The fat that we remove through the liposuction will make things smaller. And then in doing so, we can hopefully break up that connective tissue to improve the cellulite. Now, I do offer a laser cellulite treatment. The laser cellulite treatment uses the addition of smart lipo, which is the laser that we have, in combination with a specialized instrument that I created, which basically goes in and clips those fibers. So if remember those fibers that are pulling down on the skin, so our instrument will go in there and clip those fibers, and the skin literally pops up, like right in front of your eyes. It is the coolest thing ever. So if you have bad indentations, and this actually solves problems like individuals that have scars, that have like puckering of scars, solve that problem just like that. Deep indentations from cellulite, it solves the problem very quickly. The people that have like tiny little cellulite all over the place, I wouldn't recommend doing that type of treatment. However, if you have deep indentations, big pockets of cellulite that are isolated to a smaller area, the laser cellulite treatment is excellent for that. Not only that, it helps to tighten the skin and coagulates the blood vessels. It's a great procedure.
There's a question, will I have big noticeable scars?
Okay, question, will I have big noticeable scars? So after liposuction, you will not have big noticeable scars. The scars from our procedure, we use 2 millimeter biopsy punch. So a 2 millimeter, just to give you context, is about the size of the tip of a ball pen. So the tip of a pen is as big as the incisions that we make. Now the instruments that we pass through these holes are a little bit larger, so they actually stretch out the holes. But then studies have shown that the skin through surgery can stretch out, and then it contracts back to its original form after the healing process. Now the scars, everybody's different as far as like how well they scar. So I've seen these over past whatever 10, 15 years that I've been doing this. The scars, some people scar better than others. Darker tone individuals tend to keloid, which is an irritation to the scar, makes the scars a lot bigger. So if you do keloid, then you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain it to you. Otherwise, individuals that are more concerned about the scar, there are scar creams and ways, jellies and things that you can put on to reduce the amount of scarring. So if you're concerned about it, there's things that you can do to help decrease the chance. Okay, how did your... Okay, Monica asked, how does the video or phone consultation work? So how that works is you can sign up, first of all, through our website, or a lot of times we'll put a link in these videos in the comments section, so you can click on the link. And it allows you to actually schedule the consultation, so you can pick a time when we'll call you back. And then when you do that, it triggers an automated process that'll send you emails, and then the email that you'll get will just explain to you the whole process of what you have to do as far as taking the pictures. And then when you take the pictures, you're going to email them over to our office, and then we just need to make sure that we get those the pictures before your scheduled consultation time. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty basic process. It's worked quite well for us over the years, but there are, there's problems with everything. So if you guys have any issues with it, please, be patient with us. we're not like a huge, international chain here. So we have individuals that are doing this. So there are technical issues sometimes. So just work with us. Kathy LaFleur, you're in Vegas. You should come see us. We do consultations in person if you're in Vegas. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Ivory? Let's see. Kel, you've been waiting for your percentage discount. It's funny. We have discounts every once in a while. Right now it's a busier time of year for us, so we're not doing discounts right now. Our time is limited, so um, there's not much time available, so we can't offer discounts, unfortunately. Some of our slower times of the year, like around the holiday season, the winter, is typically the time when we would start doing more discounts and things of that nature. But right now, it's like everybody wants to get their stuff done for the summer, which is, it makes sense. But don't wait till the end. You got to get your stuff done before the summer, way before the summer. You should have taken advantage of this about a couple months ago when we were slower. When things were slower, we did have discounts, but now is not the time for that. Mariana, we're not open. She asked, she's coming to Vegas this weekend. Can she get a consultation, or do you have to make an appointment? So you have to make an appointment. It's not just like a show up kind of thing. And we're not open on the weekends, on Saturdays. We do consultations at the office Monday through Friday during the week. So if you're in town during that time period, just give us a call at the office, and I'm sure we can get you in for that. Kevin says, nice blue tie. It's a purple tie, Kevin. I know this light's probably, it's a light purple shirt, purple tie, and a accent here with a little purple. So it's purple day.
Question, what if I get pregnant after the liposuction?
Then you have a baby. So the question is, what happens when you get pregnant after liposuction? Okay, so liposuction technically only affects the fat. That's all. We're only working in the fat layer, so it doesn't affect anything else. So, and not only that, the fat cells have been shown to not reproduce in the same area. So once we remove those fat cells are gone, and they don't reproduce in that area. However, we never remove 100% of the fat cells, so it's always theoretically possible for the fat cells that we leave behind to get bigger. Now, I'm very aggressive, so my patients don't need to ever come back again to get liposuction. I would say maybe 1 in 200 need to come back to get liposuction again or get some type of revision, but it's a very, very small number. Like less than 0.5% of people have to come back for some type of revision. It's very, very rare that I do a revision on any of my patients. However, I do a lot of revisions on other patients that have gotten liposuction elsewhere. Now, pregnancy, back to that subject. My sister, I did nearly full body liposuction on her, and she had 2 babies afterwards. And from my understanding, what she told me is that she got back to her pre-baby body and the look that she had before pregnancy as soon as she lost the weight. So obviously you have to lose the weight to get back to your pre-pregnancy weight, but it'll look about the same. The only difference is that if you had any stretch marks from the pregnancy, and that's not something that we can control really. But don't worry about it. If you're young, you're planning on getting pregnant later in life, it'll make no difference at all. So don't worry about it. Whatever problems that you would have for pregnancy, you're going to have regardless. Liposuction is not going to change anything. It says, all men rejected me for having a big stomach. Helen, I feel so bad. All men? I'm sure you got to be exaggerating a little bit. However, it's an easy fix. Then come on in here. We can take your belly away. If that's what you believe, if you believe it's because of your belly, then let's take the belly away. It's that easy. Just ask Tina Gray. She's on now. Tina Gray's one of our previous patients. She's actually, we have some pictures of her coming up. Gerline, you say that you sent some pictures and never heard back. Again, I'm so sorry about any technical issues that we might be having. Sometimes there's, the ball is dropped, and I hate when the ball gets dropped, because to me it's potentially lost business. To employees it's less important to them, But for me, I hate when people don't get called back. I hate when emails don't get responded to. I hate all that stuff. Customer service is so important to me, and it's really it's so important. So I apologize if you got dropped through the cracks. I apologize for that. So please do whatever is necessary to get back with us. Meaning, call our office to figure out where the pictures went to, resend the emails, whatever needs to be done. You know, to just do whatever is necessary to get this taken care of. You're gonna love it. Whatever you're getting done, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love the results. You're gonna love your body. Everything's gonna be awesome. But you just have to take those steps. You have to take whatever steps are necessary to get that done. So call our office. You know, do whatever you have to do. Monique, we don't accept care credit. We do accept, there's a financing company that we deal with, but care credit is not one of them, unfortunately. They have a lot of fees. Okay. So Mariana says, I'm wanting to do 360 lipo and a baby L plus neck area. Is that too much? It's definitely pushing the limits. Definitely pushing the limits. Now I know a lot of individuals that maybe you're coming from out of state and you're thinking about getting a lot done, or you want to get a lot of things done on you. I want to urge you to do what's safe, because safety is the most important here. We want, obviously everybody wants to get great results. So whatever we do, we're going to get great results, but it has to be done safely. There's no reason for you to, fly all the way across the country to get a procedure and push the limits and then have problems and side effects and, issues. You don't want that stuff. So, take your time. You can fly out here multiple times. Like flights, I know it's, there's obviously an additional cost, but whatever additional cost you incur to get out here, it's well worth it, because, what's the cost if you come out here and have a problem? You end up having to go to the emergency room, or, whatever the case. People do this all the time. They try and push the limits and do too much, and they end up having issues. And those are the ones that have issues, the ones that try to push the limits. So I want to encourage you to, not try to push those limits, and try to stay within the limits that I've set forth. And you got to be, listen to me. I push the limits. So when you try to push my limits, that's when you start, you start getting into issues. So I'm very aggressive with everything that I do, but it's important that we keep you safe, and that's the number one thing. So Mariana, the short answer here is I don't know exactly for you. When you come here, we'll make the decision at that moment, because it's going to depend on how much of the lidocaine we're able to use for you, and then my estimates on what I think I will be using on you. The worst thing you want to do is get caught, though, in the middle of a procedure where you need more numbing medication, but we're not able to use it. That would suck. So you as the patient don't want to get caught in a situation where we're not able to use numbing medication to keep you numb. So we want to do the right things for you, and that's ultimately. And I know you guys understand that, and I know that I know you get it. But at the same time, I know that you want to push the limits. I know that you want to get as much done as possible, because when you're coming from out of state, you don't want to have to come back. So I get it. I really do. And I do push the limits. I try to do what's best for you. I try to get you, as much done as possible. But the truth is like, I've been doing this long enough. There's no point. It's not worth it. It's really not. I'd rather you say afterwards, that it sucks that you had to come back, than have you have some problem and be pissed that you had complications that you weren't prepared for. So do the right thing. Tina Gray says, Trevor, it makes me proud of your work and you showing my amazing before and after pictures. That's good. We like seeing your stuff, Tina. And whenever you want to come in here, or we can do a live video, we can talk whenever you're available. Huh. I'm just reading Raquel Rivera. She's leaving some nice comments here. She said that Trevor is amazing at what he does, and I truly appreciate the fact that he took me when I was weighing 290 pounds, and after my lipo, she went down to 152, and I'm still there after almost a year. So that's phenomenal. So Raquel, after her liposuction, she was able to get down to 252 from 290. That's a big change. You know, I think that people don't realize how big of a change that is, how big of a difference that makes on somebody. So that's a lot. That's a lot of fat. That's a big difference. 50 pounds is a big difference. And the cool thing is that I think that you don't realize that when you do the liposuction, the skin actually retracts back better than if you didn't do the liposuction. And here's the reason why. When you do the liposuction, the process of removing the fat, it stimulates the body's natural healing response, and the body forms scar tissue. And so when it forms scar tissue, the skin retracts back, and then the body forms scar tissue. It basically works like glue. It sticks everything together. Let's see, can you go to work the next day, or do you have to take a few days off? So the question is, can you go back to work the next day, or do you have to take a few days off? So that just depends. Some people, interestingly, I've had some people that go back to work the same day, and don't take any time off. They literally come in, get the procedure, and go back to work. Some nurses have done that. People with sedentary type jobs have done that. So it's possible. It just depends on what you want to do. And everybody's different. You know, what I find is that everybody has the potential to do everything. It's just a matter of what you're capable of or what you're willing to do. So, you know, some of these people, if you're willing to go back to work the next day, then, you know, you're willing to deal with whatever discomforts or whatever issues you have. And if you're willing to put up with this stuff, then, you know, you're going to be able to accomplish a lot. Amanda says, when I'm done breastfeeding, I'm totally getting lipo. To get to this post. Okay, so Amanda, so once you're done breastfeeding, it's typically the recommendations are 6 months to wait. There's hormones that circulate through your body after pregnancy that mess with the whole connective tissue and everything, so it makes it difficult to get the fat out. So the standard recommendations are to wait 6 months after pregnancy. Okay. What part of the body is the hardest to do liposuction on? Kevin asked this. So, Kevin, it's not that one particular body part is the most difficult. However, I will say the most consistently difficult area is probably the back brow roll. So it's like this underarm area back here. For some reason, it's just always tough. Occasionally, it's not that bad, but most of the time, it's very challenging. And it's hard to get the fat out of that area. But with that said, I have some individuals that it's tough, like everywhere on their body is extremely, very, very, very difficult. So liposuction, it's not easy. In most cases, it's not that easy to get the fat out of the body. It's very challenging. But as you can see, I'm pretty damn good at it. You know, we've been able to get a lot of fat out, and you know, I might make it look easy, make it seem like, you know, these people, you know, are getting phenomenal results, and they are, but it's not as easy as I make it seem. These are amazing results, and it blows my mind every time I see this, that it's possible of what we're doing here. But you know, it's not as easy as you might think. Many people's fat just doesn't come out that easy. As you can see, it takes a lot of physical effort and hard work on my part. To really say, I got to beat the fat out of you, you know, and I joke about it all the time, but it's truth. I have to put forth a lot of effort, and I'm in great shape to do it, and I work out very hard so that I can be in shape to offer you guys these services, and you know, just to kind of put that in context, you know, I've been doing this for about 13 years now, and I've done, man, like 20,000 procedures, ridiculous number of procedures, like unbelievable. And to be able to do that many procedures, obviously it takes a toll on my body, and I know that. I'm aware, I'm totally conscious of that. And I've always had concerns about injuries or repetitive motion type injuries, because I'm moving in the same motion a lot, so you would think I'd get shoulder and elbow and wrist injuries. And so my concern of those is so I protect myself, so I work out a lot to stay in shape, and I do a lot of endurance training to stay in shape, to be able to keep up with this, to keep up with the pace that I'm going. In fact, I recently just ran a Spartan race. Some of you guys might be familiar with that. A Spartan race is it's an obstacle course race where I run about 8 to 10 miles and do about 20 to 30 obstacles. And these are typically done in a mountainous setting, so I'm running up and down hills, and so it's like torture. It's hard work. It's certainly not easy, but it pushes me to my limits. And so I feel like I need to push myself to my limits so that I am prepared and ready to push myself to the limits and push you to your limits, because I want to get you the best results. Therefore, pushing the limits is part of my DNA, is part of what I do. And I've always done it. I've pushed the limits in everything that I do, and it's why I've been able to achieve and do the things that I've been able to do. It's just a mindset. It's the way I do things. I've always pushed the limits. So when you push the limits, you're able to achieve and accomplish things that other people weren't able to do because they simply played it safe. So that's me. Huh. Carrie Lugo says, I had a procedure on Friday in the incision sites you can barely see and are closing up and matching my skin perfectly. That's awesome. So that's ideal, obviously. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's ideal. Many people, it's a great situation. Linda says she doesn't even notice her scars anymore. And Linda, I want to say she's had her procedure maybe a year ago. So I would say, I've had the procedure as well, so I know from experience. Typically, the scars will initially they'll be a darker color. So like on lighter tone individuals, you're gonna have like a darker, like a purple or reddish color scar, and on darker tone individuals, it'll get more like a purple or darker brown. So it'll be like that typically for about a year, and then over the course of time, the body will what's the word I'm looking for? It'll remodel the skin, and the scar tissue will mature, and so it'll change over the course of about a year and sometimes even a little bit longer, where the skin tone turns back to your normal flesh color. So typically it'll turn back to that normal color. Not everybody. Some people end up with some darker pigmentation on the scar, so it just depends on the individual. But for most cases, it's so tiny, and I hide them pretty well. So for most people, it's never really been an issue. Okay. So if we schedule a consultation and put a deposit, we automatically get entered to win 3 extra areas. Okay, so Chelsea, so this is the contest that we're running right now. So we want to encourage people to place their deposit and get the procedures. So that's the goal. Now we're going to encourage people by offering them that for all the people who place their deposit or have their procedure within this 3-month period, ending in July 1st, everybody who places their deposit during that time period will be entered into this contest, and we're going to choose one person at the end. We're going to choose one person that will win 3 areas of liposuction. Now those 3 areas of liposuction, if you've already had your procedure, we'll reimburse the money. If you haven't had the procedure, then it'll cover 3 of your areas, and so we'll deduct the cost from your procedure. So that's it. It's pretty simple, but we want to encourage this. In the past, we've done these just random drawings where anybody enters, and everybody just wanted liposuction for free, and we got a lot of people that were just they weren't, like, this is a business. We're trying to run a business. We're trying to promote a business, but just so many people were just so interested in just free, and that's great. Like, I appreciate those people coming here, but it's a business. We're trying to do business here, so we need individuals. We want to encourage people to spend money with us and get your procedures and take that next step. So to encourage them, we wanted to reward you for taking action. So those of you who were able to take action and actually place your deposit and move forward towards your goal and move forward towards getting your liposuction procedure, we're going to reward you by giving you the potential for winning 3 years of liposuction. So it's really easy. If you're ready right now, like now is the time to do it. First of all, you got to get this stuff done before the summer. You want to be ready for the summer. So get your procedure ASAP. I mean, like as soon as possible. We're already booked up, so it's gonna be at least a few weeks for you to get in here. But you got to get in here quick if you want to be ready for the summer. I mean, we're already at June. It's gonna take like, a few weeks at minimum for the swelling to come down, and most people it's going to take longer than that. So you got to get these procedures as quick as possible if you want to be ready for the summer. Otherwise, it's like, you push it off and you'll get it and you'll be ready for next year, but which is fine. You get the procedure anytime you can get it, but if you want to be ready for the summer, you got to do it sooner than later. Okay, how high does the hemoglobin have to be? So, Alexandria, you asked about the hemoglobin. So, I'm assuming you're concerned about you're anemic. So, hemoglobin is one of the measures of the blood volume. So, Alexandria, there's no right answer. I don't want to treat you if you're not safe. If you're anemic and you don't have enough blood volume. So typically in the situations like this, we would go ahead and get a medical clearance. So whoever your treating physician is, they would do a CBC to take the measurements and see what your blood volume is and if it's safe for you to do a procedure. There's standardized numbers that they're looking for. So whatever the standardized number, if if you meet that criteria, then then you get cleared medically. So that's not something that I personally do. If you're anemic and you have that issue, then it's something that your treating physician would manage, and we'd get you medical clearance. How many days do you have to be off of work? That's going to be dependent on what kind of work you do. Our studies show about 85% of our patients get back to work within 3 days. Typically, those are sedentary type jobs, so you can get back fairly quickly. But with that said, there's going to be some people that you may have more demanding jobs and it might take a bit longer. And how long, it could take a week. It just depends on what kind of work, what your demands are. Micah Sanders, she says she's been following us since 2008 and we had discounts back then. But you look at Micah, here's the thing. My prices have barely gone up compared to the prices and the costs that all businesses are experiencing. All businesses are experiencing increased costs because the costs of labor have gone up and the cost of supplies have gone up. So my prices have gone up barely. I've been trying to keep them down as much as possible, and I try to figure out ways to cut costs and be more efficient with everything that we do. But it is what it is. Don't wait, because 5 years from now it's not going to be cheaper. It's not going to be cheaper. So if you're looking to get these procedures and you're kicking yourself because you didn't get the procedure when we were doing this at $1,200 an area or whatever the cost was back then, don't kick yourself next year or 5 years from now that it's going to be $2,000 an area and you can't afford it then. So it's not going to get easier. Let's see. Micah says something about an HSA and a flex spending plan. I don't know anything about that. I think it's probably possible to the health spending account or flex spending is probably possible, but you got to check with your accountant and see if that's possible. Okay. Yeah, I hear people, you guys are asking questions about insurance and stuff. From my understanding, insurance doesn't cover liposuction. They consider it a cosmetic procedure. So with that said, I think there's a lot of medical benefits to liposuction, and if the insurance industry realized that, they'd probably cover it. But at this point, it's considered purely cosmetic, so they don't cover any of it. Julie says, coming from out of state, how long do we need to stay before we are able to fly back? Typically, the patients are flying in the night before the procedure, and then they get the procedure the next day. You don't want to be late for your procedure, so you want to fly in the night before. So that's key. And then you definitely need to spend the night of the procedure. And then whether you leave the following day or stay one more night is up to you. I would recommend staying one more night. To give yourself more time so you're not struggling. And I would recommend coming with a person. So bringing someone with you to help out would be ideal. However, there's these are recommendations. I'm going to give you recommendations, but what is possible? It is possible for you to go home the day of the procedure. It is possible for you to fly in the day of the procedure. It's possible for you to do this all by yourself. However, those are the people that have problems. So this is your choice, your experience. You get to choose what you want to do. If you want to push the limits, you want to come by yourself, you want to try to leave quickly, to get back to work, because you're saving money from whatever it is that you think you're doing. You can try whatever you want. I will just give recommendations on what will be the best options, and let you know what the potential consequences are. Okay, we just ended on Instagram. So I'll just let you know what the potential consequences are of your actions. So, a lot of times, when people take actions that lead to negative things, then they come back complaining to me. But, I am upfront with everybody. I don't bullshit you. I'll tell you exactly how it is. And if I see you putting leading yourself into negative territory, or high risk territory, or you're making the wrong choice of areas to treat, I'm going to tell you ahead of time. In most cases, obviously sometimes I miss things, but if I see something, if I see a red flag, I'm going to tell you ahead of time so you don't make any stupid mistakes. So that's what I would appreciate if someone did to me, and I think you guys would appreciate me doing the same for you. Okay, Beverly says she's coming next week for her procedure. Do you need to bring a compression garment? We're gonna give you your compression garment, Beverly. Don't worry. Now, compression garments, we do supply your first compression garment. However, the compression garments, there's a lot of different options. We supply one option. So they fit everybody, but they don't fit anybody great. So I recommend, at minimum, it'll get you by for the first 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. It'll get you through the full 2 weeks, but you may want to consider trying other garments. There's lots of different options now with the fajas and what are they called? Spanx. So there's lots of different options out there that may be better for you, that are more customized to your body shape. Our garments are meant to fit everybody. I thought the TV thing changed. Valerie says, is that even possible to lose 50 pounds? Valerie, I'm going to let you rethink that question. It is possible to lose 50 pounds. Of course it is. Now, she said, from my understanding, it wasn't all lost with liposuction. My understanding was that it encouraged her, so maybe it was misunderstood. But I agree. I don't think that 50 pounds was lost from liposuction, but I believe she said she was a year out. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible to lose 50 pounds. But not just from liposuction in most cases. However, on some individuals, I've done serial liposuction, one after another, for we take at least 1 week in between each procedure, but we can do 3 or 4 procedures and get substantial volumes of fat. So taking, I don't know if that individual, we did that with her, but it is possible. So it's possible to get a lot of fat off of people. Terry says, is there more of a risk with age? And what about the skin? So Terry, I'm looking at your picture, and you don't look that old, although I'm looking at a tiny little thing. Age is everyone's different age-wise. So chronological age, the number of your age is going to be different than the age of your actual body, because some people take care of themselves better. So, you know, we've had patients that were 80 years old who are in great shape and get procedures, and other people that, you know, are smokers and, you know, don't take care of themselves well at all. And, you know, those at 50 years old, they're a risk. So age isn't by itself a risk factor. It's the situation that you're in that's going to cause a risk factor. And same thing with the skin. Um, you know, some individuals have better skin elasticity than others, so age doesn't necessarily mean that you have loose skin. However, you know, traditionally, as you get older, the skin elasticity decreases. With that said, the skin retracts back quite nicely with liposuction, so we get great results. So you should check out our website. There's pictures there at myshapelipo.com. You can see lots of individuals that have, you know, as this one here, you can see it, the belly hangs over and the looseness of the skin, but yet it retracts back quite nicely. So, you know, anything is possible. Okay. Someone says, Terry, I'm 60. Linda says, Terry, I'm 62, and this will be my third lipo on Thursday. Linda, you're coming back. That's awesome. So you heard it, and you know, we just did. I think like Tina Gray was here. She's in her 50s. Tina's Aunt Penny was in. She's in her mid 60s. So this is not like you know, every once in a while we get an older individual. Like it's commonplace. You know, and I hate even using the term old, because I mean, I don't think I'm old. So you know. You know, we can get great results, and as long as you're healthy, that's all that really matters. And you can be healthy at 80 years old, or you know, you could be unhealthy at 40 years old. So it's really just a matter of being healthy. And if you have any issues or concerns, the best thing to do is get medical clearance from your treating physician. Alicia says, what about if you're nervous? We use anxiety medication for that. But Alicia, study more. Understand what you're getting into. Understand everything that's possible. Understand what the risk factors are. You know, understand everything so you're not nervous. You know, people are scared of things that, you know, they fear what they don't know. So go find out the information. You know, find everything that you need to know. Listen to me. Go watch my old videos. Go on our YouTube channel. See all, you know, how I answer all the questions. You know, call our office. Get your consultation. Get all the information. Do everything that you need to do. Then you won't be scared, or you shouldn't be. Okay. Iris. Well, we were just talking about this, Iris, about the age. So age is not a factor. 65 years old is young. Kathy LaFleur, the deposit's 25% of your procedure costs. So when you come in to get your consultation, when we give you a quote, the procedure, let's see, yeah, the deposit will be 25% of the procedure costs. Dottie says, sell all your extra junk and jewelry, have a yard sale. You won't regret it. You know, look, there's plenty of options, you know, I get discouraged when I hear people that just make excuses about why they don't have things in their lives. You know, like, you don't have the money, well, figure out how to get it. You know, there's lots of different ways. You can start a side hustle. You know, you can drive Uber on the side, you know, nights and weekends. You can go take a second job. You can finance. You can borrow from friends or family. I mean, there's so many different options that you can do nowadays that, you know, like, stop making excuses. You know, like my little 9-year-old makes excuses and it drives me crazy. Stop making excuses as to why you can't have what you want. If you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. You'll figure out how to make it happen. And that's it. That's all I can say to you is you got to figure out for you. I don't know your situation. I'm not going to go and tell you, negotiate a higher paying job for you. You have to, everything that you want. If you want this, it's your responsibility to get out there and figure out how to make this happen for you. And so I'm just here to make this stuff happen for you. But beyond that, you got to figure out how to get to me. And I don't work for free. So, I can give you phenomenal, amazing results, but I've worked my ass off to get here, and it's cost me a hell of a lot of money to be in the position that I'm in right now. So because of that, you're going to pay for it. So, and I think that's completely fair. I can get you great results, and that many people can't do. No age limit, Iris. No age limit. No fear. Linda, you're asking about the chin garment. So the chin garment, you're not gonna like it. So I'll be honest with you. It goes up here and it wraps around the head. It looks weird. It wraps around the neck, but it is what it is. Here's the thing. If you don't wear the compression garment, you're gonna have more swelling, and the swelling will last for longer, so that you won't see the results for a longer period of time. So you want to get the best results, so you want to wear the compression garment. So with the chin garment, what I recommend, because most people don't like to wear it in front of people, so I would recommend that you wear it for 48 hours at minimum after the liposuction procedure. Then if you want to take it off, like if you have to go to work or whatever the case, if you want to take it off for whatever period of time, wear it as much as you can. Take it off for that short period of time, whether that's a couple hours or your work day, which is 8 hours, and put it back on immediately when you get into the car, and then continue wearing it until the next morning. The more you wear it, the less swelling you're going to get. And so, again, I'm going to explain to you what the consequences are, and it's up to you. It's your choice. If you want to follow the rules, follow the directions, you'll get the best results. If you don't follow the rules, follow the directions, then you deal with whatever consequences that you deal with. And maybe they're not bad, maybe it is. But everybody gets a choice, free will. It's amazing. Dottie says, I lost 15 pounds, but it looked like 50 pounds. Isn't that amazing? The funny thing is, like, people have this perception that, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds. And it's like, that's bullshit. 50 pounds is over your entire body. So when you lose 50 pounds over your entire body just to affect one particular area, that's why you think you have to lose 50 pounds. But the truth is that with liposuction, we're taking off the weight specifically on one area. So like if we remove 10 pounds of fat from your belly, that's a lot of fat. It's a big volume. So, don't take this lightly. You see the kind of results that we get. We get a lot of fat off there. And who cares what the weight is? Who cares how much weight you lose afterwards? What the number is on some scale? Who cares? Don't think about that. That's not the focus here. The focus should not be on a number. You're not focused on the number of your weight, or the number of the inches that you lose, or the number. I mean, like, all that stuff you might be able to quantify, but that's not the goal. The goal is to look better. The goal is to feel better. And so that's not a number. You can't quantify that into a number. And stop trying to do it. You're going to make yourself depressed and upset about it. Stop trying to quantify everything in a number. Don't try and lose a number. Try and get down to where you feel better about yourself, where you're able to do the things that you want to do, where you're able to get up from a seating position, or go up and down stairs, or bend down to tie your shoes. These are the little things in life that people don't really think about. But that's the benefit from liposuction. Okay. Raquel says that she lost about 25 pounds, and as the months of healing continued, eating light and dieting, she's lost almost 40 pounds. Congratulations. That's awesome. It's a common story that I hear from my patients that, liposuction is one of those things that it gets you that head start, that kick start, where, you know, a lot of people get frustrated, and that's why they quit. When they don't see the results, they quit. And so they commit to losing weight or getting in better shape or whatever the case is. And then when they don't see their results and they don't see it like instant, like yesterday, they decide to quit. And so liposuction is one of those things that we can get you those results that what you're looking for. We can get it quickly, and it gets you excited. You're like, wow, this is cool. This is really cool. So now I can do a little bit more. Maybe I can get a little bit better. You know, if I kept dieting and exercise, maybe I can get a little bit better. Then you start dieting, exercise, and you start seeing results, and then you start feeling better about yourself. And so it's like that's when you start the momentum. When you start the momentum, that's when things get really exciting. And that's when you start hearing these stories about our patients that lose 50, 60, 100 pounds after getting liposuction. So it is possible. You can do it. Absolutely. And if this is the catalyst that starts this burning fire beneath you to get you moving, then that's what it is. But you got to use it however, you know, is best fitted for you. Okay. Well, I'm getting tired. Looks like the Linda Shelton, she's like our lover follower here. You're awesome, Linda. Kevin, sticking through. I appreciate you guys. So, well, today's Monday. It's not my normal day for doing these things. So maybe on Wednesday or Thursday when I'm back in here doing procedures, I might be back doing another live. So I appreciate each of you watching here and hope you have a great day. And when you're ready, don't forget to get set up with your free consultation. You can call our office at 702-818-5476 or check out our website, myshapelipo.com. But I do appreciate each one of you for watching this and taking time to listen to me and ask questions. So